Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhart here, LMP and Lancaster Online. It's the Huddle, the LA League football podcast, sponsored by Auto House of Lancaster. Pull up a chair for week 9 chatter. Week 9. Wow, okay. I can see the finish line now. You can see it. And there's a lot of big games this week, and games that will set up even bigger games next week. And there's a bunch of games where teams are basically fighting for their postseason lives at this point. I hate to get melodramatic on you, but if you want to have a week 11, these teams are looking to win in week 9 to set up week 10 games where they're probably going to need to win. So a lot of good stuff. Section races are coming to a head, and we'll know much more, obviously, come the end of the weekend. 20 games on the slate. 19 on Friday, 1 on Saturday. To wrap it up, 3 non-league games. Interesting. And some really good head-to-head games. So let's break it down, give you some notables and some picks. And the picks were tough. I'm telling you right now, don't hate me. Don't go throwing eggs at my picture. There were some tough picks this week because there's some good matchups. So breaking these down is always fun, and I enjoy it. But then, and then when I have to say, and the pick is, some of these are hard, which means it's a good game, and it should be a good game, and it should be a close game. And I study these games inside and out, and sometimes I just can't pick a winner, and I got to just go with the gut. So I had a couple gut hunches this week, so bear with me. Okay, here we go. Let's break it down. Good stuff. Week 9, LA League football. Drum roll, please. Friday night, Section 1 games. Cedar Crest at Hempfield. Wow. Hempfield. I don't know if it was the win of the year, but it was a signature win for the Knights last week. They knocked off previously unbeaten Exeter 30-28. PJ Poole had a huge game, a couple touchdown catches, returned a pick six, 77 yards for the go-ahead touchdown in the fourth quarter. And Hempfield springs one. And I know Exeter's 5A, but they're darn good. But the Knights win, so that bumped them up in their district ranking in 6A, and Exeter's got to pick up the pieces a tad, and I'll get to them in a minute. Cedar Crest comes to Landisville. Crest is good, and they're like 500. I think they'll start this game on the 10 line, right on the bubble line in 6A. So key game in the district playoff race here. This is huge. Bubble team Crest. Hempfield's safely under, but they got this game and then another Section 1 game next week. I think they play Reading. So Hempfield needs a fast start to secure that 6, 7, 8 range seed. So a lot riding here. Fun game. And this one got really juicy when Hempfield knocked off Exeter last week. So I have the Black Knights circled. They're at home. Their passing game has been lights out. Glad to see Isaiah Zimmerman got back on the field last week for the Falcons. He scored a touchdown in their win over McCaskey. Crest has Lebanon next week in the Cedar Bowl. So they're going to have to – they need a quick finish to get in, probably. But I'll go Hempfield here for pick purposes. We're off to a flying start. Black Knights over Falcons. Manheim Township at Penn Manor. Township has been unbelievable. 6 wins in a row. Their offense has been scorching. Beat Reading 63-0 last week. They only gave up 65 yards. A whole bunch of kids got carries. Kneff had a big game through the air. He was like 6 for 6 or something. Dixon had a couple more touchdown catches. Township's been great. Can't get caught looking ahead here. Week 10, Township at Wilson. Those two are tied for first heading into these games on Friday. Comets got the win over Littlestown a couple of weeks back. The last 2 weeks, Penn Manor has played Wilson and now Manheim Township. Oh, that's a big boy schedule right there. I got Township here. Road game, got to go to the Ville to play the Comets, but Township's just flying. And they know what's there next week, and they are not going to get caught looking ahead. So let's go Streaks over Comets. Wilson against McCaskey, neutral site at Lancaster Catholic. Plan accordingly. Wilson, folks, don't drive down and go to McCaskey. You won't see anything there. Game is at Lancaster Catholic. Wilson's first game at Lancaster Catholic since 2012 in a Section 1 game against the Crusaders, back when they were up in Section 1 for a couple of years. That's back when Lancaster Catholic kind of made the whole grand tour of the LL. They were in Section 4, they were in Section 3, they were in Section 2, they were in Section 1. I don't even know if there was a Section 4 back then. It might have been just Section 3. But Catholic there in like a 6-year span played in every section. So it's been a while since Wilson's played a game at Lancaster Catholic. Bulldogs like Township. See the finish line. They know Township comes to town next week. McCaskey, well documented. They're struggling. They're just looking for it. And they love a little positivity going into the offseason, I know, but a tricky team here in Wilson. So we'll go Bulldogs over Tornado. And if the picks pan out, that would be Township at Wilson next Friday for the Section 1 championship. Hello, indeed. Okay, Section 2 on Friday night. Governor Mifflin at Elizabethtown. Mifflin coming off a win against Lebanon. E-Town ran into CV last week, and the Bucks are just ripping stuff up. They're scorching hot, so we'll see if E-Town can get a snapback. Very small sample size, but Mifflin has never lost to E-Town. I think they're 4-0. And Mifflin, I want to say, is the first team out right now in 6A. So the Mustangs need a win here, maybe some help, probably another win next week. I think they get effort to make districts. So they should be very determined here. Road trip, yes, but I have Mifflin circled. Mifflin, by the way, has given up the most passing yards in the league. E-Town, by the way, has thrown the most passes in the league. So Mustangs, DBs, beware. Should be a lot of footballs in the air in E-Town on Friday, but for pick purposes, let's go Mustangs over Bears. Ding, ding, ding. Exeter at Conestoga Valley. Wow. They're tied for first in Section 2. Winner gets sole possession of first place going into Week 10. CV finishes up at Muhlenberg next week, and they only have one loss. Exeter coming off the loss to Hempfield last week, and now they got another road game at CV. So these guys have developed a nice little juicy rivalry here in the first couple of years. CV beat them last year in the regular season at Exeter on a contested 2-point conversion play at the end. Exeter got mad payback in districts. They knocked out the Bucks in the 5A semifinals. So they split last year. Exeter got the last laugh. CV got the section title. So however you want to look at it. I have CV circled. I'm going to go Mo in this game, and I'm going to go home team in this game. I expect this to go right down to the end, just like last year. Hopefully there's not a contested 2-point conversion on the last play of the game. That would not be very fun. And again, my caveat is do not be surprised if these two play again in a couple of weeks in the playoffs. But for Friday night, I'm going to go Bucks over Eagles, but anything could happen in that one, especially if Exeter rebounds quickly and gets back at it. I got to mention Leo Brown quickly. Leads the league in rushing for Exeter, 1,400 yards, 19 touchdowns. He's been unreal. 500 some odd yards shy of a 2,000-yard season. That would give them back-to-back 2,000-yard rushers. Zandier hit it last year. Wow. I'll see you in Whitmer on Friday. I'll go Bucks over Eagles, and that one should be a war. Lebanon at Ephrata. Trying to think how to set this game up. Sorry, Lebanon. Cedars hit the 50 mark here in losses since 2020, so they're at 50. The record for consecutive losses in the LL League belongs to ... Ephrata. They lost 52 in a row, snapped that in 2018, and they've been really good ever since. They found it. So Lebanon is just looking to avoid 51 here. 52, if it does get to next week, would tie Ephrata for the record. So hate to keep bringing that up. but it's a nuts and bolts item that I got to mention. So fingers crossed, Cedars. This will end eventually. I don't think it ends here. Ephrata is cut line-ish. They got to jump a couple teams for districts in 5A, and they just missed it last year, so they want a strong finish here and get back in districts. They're at home, and I think they will take care of business. So let's go Mounts over Cedars. Section 3, Friday night. Cocalico at Conrad Weiser. Looks like Weiser will not defend its title. 10-0 last year, won the Section 3 championship. Looks like Solanco doesn't have that under lock and key quite yet, but the Mules hit the week alone in first. And now Weiser gets a shot at Cocalico. Hope you saw this in the notes the other day. Dane Horning kind of went out on his own terms. He's got some injuries he's dealing with. And a week or two back, he said, I'm done. I can't play anymore. Wants to protect himself and might want to play college ball. So tip of the cap to Dane Horning. What a career for that kid. Was on the field as a freshman, won a couple district championships, went to states, has been an all-star. And they've missed him. Did get a win, I think, the first week he was out. But it's just been a weird year for Cocalico. I did not see 2-6 coming and no playoffs. Weiser was 4-0. They dropped 4 straight. So they're also looking for some firmer footing here in week 9. I have Cocalico circled. They showed the other week in the Ephrata game that if they kind of get everything firing at the same time, they can still do damage. And I think they find a way here. Don't know how, don't know why. But I'm going to go Eagles over Scouts. Maybe it's the turf game. I don't know. We shall see. And Weiser's still kind of hanging around for a playoff spot, so this is a big game for them. But I'll go Cocalico here. Give me Eagles over Scouts in Rabazonia. Solanco at Fleetwood. Mules are close. They can taste it. They're alone in first, out front. Playing great. Johnny Garcia cracked the 4,000-yard rushing milestone last week. Needed 173. He got 175. 4,002 rushing yards for Mr. Garcia. Chris Burgos Wise is averaging 16.7 yards per carry. And that's not a small sample size. Like, he's over 700 rushing yards. So 16 yards a pop. That's really good. Solanco's just been great. 7 wins in a row, and they smell it. But they don't want to look past Fleetwood. I know the Tigers are struggling a bit here. They're 0-for in section games. And Mannheim Central really held them down last week. They also had a QB injury. McMonigal did not play last week. And now they got the Mules. I'll go Solanco here, taking a step closer to the outright Section 3 crown. Mules over Tigers. Fun, backyardish. LL old school rivalry. Love these games so much. Mannheim Central at Garden Spot. Hello. Barons would be the first team out in 5A, so they need a fast finish. They put up 42 last week and beat Fleetwood. Cody Hess had a big game, touchdown run, and a pick 6. Barons have been a little inconsistent, I guess is the word, inconsistent, but 5-3 and knocking at the door for districts. Here they are. Saw Garden Spot last week. Very appreciative to the editors for letting me go to Bristol last week. If you were following on my Twitter, I used to live down there, and I made a day of it and went back to the old stomping grounds and did a lot of fun stuff and saw a good game. Garden Spot beat Bristol 34-20. Gabe Martin passed for 130, rushed for 130, accounted for 4 touchdowns. He was really good. And Spot won that game. Remember what I said about gut hunches? I have Garden Spot circled. I like their weapons. Martin's been really shifty, and he can get the ball to a couple of different guys. Their special teams have been really good. Pemberton's popped a bunch of kick returns, and he's a threat to break it. Corday Douglas has been really good. Just a tough game, great game, and this one should be close. Spot beat Central last year for the first time in I don't even know how long, many years. Gut hunch pick of the week. Garden Spot over Mannheim Central. Have fun in New Holland. That's a great game, and honestly, anything could happen there. Like I said, the Barons need a hot finish. They know that. So they will be ready to play, no doubt. Okay. Section 4, Friday night, Northern Lebanon at Daniel Boone. Northern Lebanon scored 31 last week, and Mitzel passed for like 230 and 5 touchdowns, and they didn't get a dub. They gave up 56 to Octorara, and the Braves won, but Northern Lebanon did things. Ryan Clemmer had 3 touchdown catches, and they played really well. And I saw Northern Lebanon a couple of weeks back, and they can really get the ball up and down through the air. The Yoakum kid's having a really good year, and Mitzel's having a good year, and Clemmer had a great game. So watch out for the Vikings pass attack here. Boone struggling, lost to Donegal on that Monday night game in the mist at Mount Joy. Boone has lost, I want to say 10 in a row dating back to last year. They've struggled. Stout's been pretty good at quarterback. They'll have these really great games, but they don't get a dub. Hayden Moyer's been really good as that Swiss Army knife kid. He rushed for 100 on Monday against Donegal. Boone's just looking to finish a game and get a dub. Oh, my. I have Northern Lebanon circles. They did, like I said, they did so much last week against Octorara with the passing game and a ton up top. Boone's kind of near the bottom in defense, and they're just kind of looking for it. And now the Vikings get a turf game, so they can flash their speed here a little bit. So another gut hunch pick. Let's go Vikings over Blazers. Enjoy Birdsboro. Donegal at Elko. Interesting game. Both these teams are on the other side of the bubble in District 3, 4A. They would not make it as of post week 8. So they need wins and help to get in, both of them. So this is a big game. Donegal coming off the emotional win on Monday against Boone, played for their late friend Joey Williams. Sad story there at Donegal. But his friends and classmates and teammates have really responded. I mean, all of their athletic programs this fall here, they're all still playing, and for his memory and really playing well. And Donegal put on a good show Monday night and won. Angel Mendez had a big game. Leland Bachman had a big game. Jasir Johnson picked off a pass late. Chase Marshall passed for 160 and 3 touchdowns. So Donegal found it there on a special evening for their friend, and they won. So good on those guys for that. Elko, they're another roller coaster team here, up and down, win 1, lose 2, win 1, kind of back and forth. Strictly home team here. And I know Donegal has some good mo coming off the win on Monday. But I have the Raiders circled at home on the turf, and they're a little closer to that last district spot than Donegal. Not that either of them can't or won't get there, but the coin toss games are so hard. So let's go Elko at home, Raiders over Indians, and the big boy Section 4 game of the week, LS at Twin Valley. Raiders are undefeated. They lead the league in everything. Knocked off YMSing last week, 28-6. Outscored the Spartans 21-0 in the second half and really took care of business. Twin Valley's been fantastic. Top offense, top defense, top scoring offense. Pick a stat. Raiders are there. They've been wonderful. They have a bone to pick with LS. Let's rewind to 2024. LS put up 62 in the regular season game and won. Caleb House scored 7 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns. It was a lot. It was a big number. And then LS knocked out Twin Valley in the district semifinals. Closer game, but LS won. So they were 2-0 against the Raiders last year. So payback is on TV's mind here. LS playing well. What have they won? 6 in a row, 5 in a row. Asher Jones has been really good dual threat kid. He's having a good year. And LS has been like, quote unquote, LS for the last month. I have Twin Valley circled. I simply cannot pick against them right now. You go into YO and beat them. the way they did. I can't pick against them. And they're at home. And they have revenge on their mind against the Pioneers. Enjoy Elverson. That's a whale of a game. Wow. I'll go Twin Valley over LS. Section 5 Friday night. Some good ones here. Interesting games with stuff riding. Schuylkill Valley at Anvil Cleona. Dutchmen are tied for first with Berks Catholic. Anvil Cleona at Berks Catholic in week 10. Big game for Anvil Cleona. Big game. Schuylkill Valley, they're the defending champs. They only have one loss in the section, so they're still in it. So, they're hoping somebody beats somebody. They can give Anvil a loss, and then Anvil plays Berks Catholic. Schuylkill Valley still has a shot here at some kind of funky tie. So keep an eye on that. Huge game. Hudson Sellers, know the name if you haven't heard it. Anvil Cleona. Kid's having a monster year. He should and could and hopefully is all-state. He's been unbelievable for the Dutchman. 14 sacks, 16 sacks, like 26 tackles for losses. A couple touchdowns last week. He's been awesome. So I have the Dutchman circled. I'm going to do the Mo thing like Twin Valley. I think I've picked against Anvil here during their little run and probably regretted it. But they're at home. Big game. They know what's waiting in week 10. Schuylkill Valley will put up a whale of a fight, I promise. But I'm going to go Dutchman over Panthers. Oh, wow. That's a cool game. Berks Catholic at Hamburg. Saints tied for first with Anvil. Saints host Dutchman next week. So they can't get caught looking ahead here against Hamburg, which has been kind of up and down. And Isaac McFadden's been learning the ropes here as the 9th grade quarterback. But I like Berks Catholic here. They've been really good, focused, 1 week at a time, one game at a time. Who's next? And they know that they have a shot here to win the whole thing in this section. They'll have an eye on the Anvil Schuylkill Valley score, but I don't think the Saints get caught looking ahead here. And we'll see if AC at BC materializes for next week. Wow. Saints over Hawks. Columbia at Kutztown. Columbia lost their grip on the 4 seed in the 2A bracket to Lancaster Catholic, whom Columbia beat a couple of weeks back, remember? But now Columbia's looking up at Catholic for the last seed in 2A. So we'll see how that plays out. Obviously a big game for Columbia. Still one of the stories of the year in the LL with 3 wins with a shot at districts. And they've just been fantastic. And even the games they fell short, they've been in it. And they've just played some really great games. Kutztown continues to run the heck out of the football. Oh my. 2,900 plus rushing yards. Mason Sherry hit 1,000. There's a good shot. Ian Barr gets to 1,000 this week for 2 1,000-yard backs. That'd be pretty cool. Bugaboo for Kutztown's been turnovers. They had 3 more fumbles last week against was it Berks Catholic? Is that who they played last week? All these games are running together, but Kutztown lost 3 fumbles last week. I was Catholic against Lancaster Catholic. I have Kutztown circled. Their running attack, again, is just a handful. I think they'll have a couple of too many backs to contend with. And if Kutztown cannot turn the ball over, I think they got a pretty good shot here. Tricky road test for Columbia, who I'm quite sure will be in this game one way or another. But I'll go Cougars over Tide. Lancaster Catholic at Pequay Valley. This is the Injury Bowl. Both teams have just, been inundated with injuries this season. Catholic can see districts. They're ahead of Columbia for now. They will need a fast finish to hold on to that seed, no doubt about it. And they're coming off the win against Kutztown last week. Pequay Valley, injured. Just a injury bugaboo for the Braves. But I did notice in the Eastern Conference ratings, Pequay Valley would get in. They'd get that Week 11 Eastern Conference game in AAA. So we'll see if they can get a fast finish. Not sure they'll make District 3, but it looks like they're going to have a shot at the Eastern Conference. Stay tuned. I'll go Catholic here. They might have a couple of more injury-free bodies, and they have some weapons. Get well soon. PV and Catholic guys. We'll go Crusaders over Braves. Non-league games on Friday. Oxford at Reading. Hornets out of District 1. 6 wins. Started 5-0. Beat Northern Lebanon. They're out of the Chessmont League. They get Reading. Knights looking for it. After Township last week, they really handed it to them. Reading had just 65 yards. So I have Oxford circled. They're 6-2 and looking at the District 1 playoffs. They got to make the trip, but it looks like they have a lot of weapons. So let's go Hornets over Knights. Warwick at New Oxford. Wow. New Oxford's number 1. Warwick is number 3 in the District 3 5A power ratings. This is a monster game. This is like a playoff preview, depending on how the bracket shakes out. Warwick, and I've been saying this like every week, very, very sneakily just humming along here. 7 wins, number 3 in the district, 3rd-ranked defense in the league. And they've had 2 shutouts in a row. They shut out Weiser and they shut out Fleetwood in the last 2 weeks. So Warwick's D has been really good. And the Schnipke kid just continues to chew up yards, 1,200 plus rushing yards, almost 200 carries. So Warwick's really found their bread and butter. Schnipke on the ground and a really good D. New Oxford undefeated, and their regular season unbeaten streak is like 30. They haven't lost in the regular season in a couple of years. I have the Colonial circled. They're at home. With some offensive guys who have some numbers, including receiver Billman, who's really good. Warwick definitely hangs. Warwick could absolutely win the game. But I'm going to go home team and District 3 power rating with this one. New Oxford over Warwick. Great game. And again, we'll see if they meet up again in like a month in the playoffs. Last game Friday night, Academy Park at Muhlenberg. Academy Park's out of the Del Val League in District 1. They beat Muhlenberg last year, put up 56 points. They're a 4-4 squad. And they get a Muhlenberg team that knows it hosts Conestoga Valley next week in the Section 2 wrap-up game. So obviously we don't know what the CV Exeter result yet is. So when the Buckskins come to Muhlenberg next week, there could be some stuff riding. There could be ties. CV could be going for an outright title. I don't know. We'll figure that out in week 10. But Muhlenberg knows it has a big game next week. And they've been really good. Cameron Small, second in rushing, 20 touchdowns. Michael Miller's been great. Freddie Lacey's been great. Adriel Baez has been great. 1 loss for the Mules. They've been fantastic. And I like them here at home. Let's go Muhlenberg over Academy Park. 1 game on Saturday. Section 4, Octorara at YO. You think the Spartans are going to be a little ticked after last week's game against Twin Valley? I think yes. YO doesn't lose very often, A. B, they don't lose very often at home. So I think they'll have a little frustration and payback on their mind to get back on track. Heading into LS next week, which should be another big game. Octorara, as mentioned, put up 56 points last week against Northern Lebanon. Braden Mastripolito rushed for 190, and he returned to kick 94 yards for a touchdown. Wow. That kid's a first-team All-Star across the board. He's been incredible. But I don't wish this trip on the Braves. YO is going to be hungry. And they're still hoping for TV to get tripped up here, maybe by LS. Force a tie. We shall see. But let's go home team here. Let's go Spartans over Braves. Okay, week 9 winners. Hempfield, Manheim Township, Wilson, Governor Mifflin, Conestoga Valley, Ephrata, Cocalico, Solanco, Garden Spot, Northern Lebanon, Elko, Twin Valley, Anvil, Cleona, Berks Catholic, Kutztown, Lancaster Catholic, Oxford, New Oxford, I didn't even notice that, Muhlenberg, and YO. Friday night, I will be in Whitmer to take in Exeter at Conestoga Valley, which should be fabulous. Okay, week 9 should be fun. A lot of big games. Hope I got to everything. And again, the picks, a lot of gut hunches this week. A lot of good games, big games. So you enjoy. Jeff Reinhart here, LNP and Lancaster Online. It's the Huddle, the LA League Football podcast, sponsored by Auto House of Lancaster. When we next chat, we'll be talking about week 10 and what's left, and then teeing it up for the playoffs. Wow. Enjoy week 9, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.